Well, in this chaotic world we're in, many Americans are looking for get-rich-quick schemes. But our next guest says the best formula for success really isn't new at all. In fact, he says it's thousands of years old.
Can anyone prosper and make it financially? Are there rules to follow to assure financial success? In his new book, Thou Shalt Prosper, Rabbi Daniel Lapin offers a practical approach to creating wealth based on principles from Jewish tradition and Scripture. Lapin shares 10 fundamental commandments about business and money found in the Hebrew Scriptures and teachings that can help people from any background. In an era when the reputation of business has been sullied by scandals and negative news coverage, Lapin proclaims what he calls the dignity and morality of business, and he outlines the path to prosperity.
Well, it's a pleasure to welcome back a dear friend, Orthodox Rabbi Daniel Lapin. Rabbi, God bless you. I'm glad to see you.
Thank you so much, Pat.
You're a champion of the things we all hold dear, and we're just so happy to have you with us.
Thank you.
You've departed a bit from some of your previous books about biblical themes. This is Thou Shalt Prosper. How come? What'd you write this for?
Well, I believe that my ministry and mission is to bring ancient Jewish wisdom to bear for the benefit of all Americans, in a sense to restore the heritage, because colonial Americans knew all of this stuff. Colonial pastors, people like Cotton Mather, they knew all this stuff, and I thought my job as an Orthodox Jewish rabbi would be to make this accessible. So we spoke about some of the ancient Jewish secrets to how we ought to live our lives socially and politically. But I wanted to now basically answer the question for people, and to do it in a way that only a Jewish rabbi could do, which was to say, look, anyone with eyes in his head knows that Jews have been disproportionately good with money. Now, you're not supposed to say that, but it's true.
Well,
and I thought,
I don't think that's an insult.
Of course it isn't. Of course it isn't. And I thought, let's find out what the standard reasons. And there are three basic myths people have.
Right,
one is that Jews rip everybody off and lie and cheat and steal. And it's easy to debunk. I mean, Jews are just like everybody else. They're the bad apples. But by and large, you don't succeed over the long term by lying and cheating. So that's not the answer.
That's right.
One of the other explanations is the Cossacks killed all the poor Jews, leaving the rich ones to reproduce. Well, to believe that silly racial explanation, I mean, you've got to believe a racist explanation that there's a sort of money gene that Jews pass on. Well, it's absurd, so that's out of the question. And the last one is that, well, Jews are just smarter than everyone else. Well, that's also not the case. And in any event, people know the expression "too smart for your own good." Or, if being smart was the way to make money, then of course university faculties would be filled with people who are brilliant with money, and we know that's not the case.
Well, in the Middle Ages, the Jewish facility for making money brought a program upon them, and people tried to steal it away from them. That's the whole idea of Ivanhoe. It was torture of Jews to get their money away from them.
That's right. And of course, every country that has evicted its Jews tends to descend and decline economically, not surprisingly, because there is a certain economic vitality that Jews bring, not because of genes and not because of brains and not because of lying and cheating, but because they understand the basic 10 commandments for making money that came down to Jews from Mount Sinai and have been spread to the world. And that's why every successful economy has always been a Christian country, a biblically based country.
All right. What is the leading commandment? You said they got 10 of them, but if there's one that starts out, what is it?
I think the most important one springs from the basic idea that we speak of customer service, but we also speak of a worship service.
Yes.
And this is the basic idea, that serving other people is not menial. It's a wonderful thing to do. In the same way that we serve God, we can serve other people. And the secret to success is not getting up every morning and saying, God, please give me a Ferrari. It's getting up every morning and saying, God, how can I serve your children? How can I become obsessively preoccupied with finding out what other people need and what they desire, and how can I supply it? And when you supply what other people need and desire, don't be surprised if a good, loving God rewards you.
Well, you know, that's one of the main principles that Jesus Christ brought. He says, you know, he that's great among you, let him be servant of all. So that's exactly the principle.
There are fundamental truths.
The law of greatness. Serving the most, he that serves the most is the greatest.
It's so clear.
Yeah. All right, what's number 2?
And number 2, I think, is to recognize that no matter what you do, you are in business, and to see that as a noble, moral, dignified occupation, because being in business means you are somebody who is focused on giving other people what they need and what they want. And one of the things I often tell to people, I say, you know, pull out a dollar bill and look at it. Now, did you rob somebody to get that dollar bill? Did you defraud somebody? Did you mug a little old lady, steal her purse? Is that how you got the dollar bill? If you didn't do any of those things, then you got it only one way, and that is you made another human being happy. You made another one of God's children happy. It might have been a customer, it might have been a client, it could have been a relative, it could have been somebody who gave it to you as a gift, but somebody was happy with you, and they put that dollar bill in your hands.
Well, you know, the left, though, and I think the left has permeated oftentimes the Democratic Party, is that dollar bill was somehow obtained through extortion. I remember speaking to a college group at the University of Virginia, and they said, you know those skyscrapers in New York? I said, yes. He said, they're built on the backs of the poor. I mean, you know, this is crazy. I mean, these are places that people work. But
that's unfortunately the tragic belief, and that's why it is so vital to understand, and I cover that extensively. You've got to be able to understand how money is created, that money is spiritual. It's essentially the result of doing things for other people, and there is no limited pie in the sense that the only way for me to get a dollar is to take it from you. That is absurd.
What are some of the other ones?
Well, a very important one is never retire. Don't even think of retiring. Don't even dream of retiring.
Jews don't retire?
Well, some do, but they're not very good Jews when they do that.
The good Jews. Mark that down. The good Jews don't
keep working. Right.
Really? Is that?
Sure. Yes, absolutely. Because retirement means, okay, I'm tired of doing things for other people. You see, it's all wrong. I mean, if you look at making money and earning wealth as being self-centered, well, then fine. When you've got enough, quit.
All right.
But if you realize that it's the consequence of helping other people get the things they need, what right do you have to stop? Who told you you're through with helping other people? Right. And that's the point. People get this wrong. People think that the only validity of money is giving it away. And it's wonderful to be charitable, and it's not even an option. I think the way we should look at it is that God lets us work on a 90% commission.
Okay.
But the act of making money is in itself moral, because if you didn't steal it from somebody, then you did something for them before they gave it.
But you don't stop. What you're saying is the idea of retiring at 65.
And here I'm speaking to you, Pat.
Yeah.
Don't even dream of it.
My birthday's coming up. I'm like, you can't let me retire. Nobody let me retire.
No, we need you. What right do you have to even think of quitting?
Well, you heard it here, folks. But I mean, do the members of the Jewish, I was going to say race, but you know, I would call it a fraternity. Do they really buy these principles, or is it just a select few?
No, look. I mean, let's face it. The majority of American Jews, like many other people, have abandoned the traditions and the faith of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. Tragically, many of them have adopted the doctrines of secular fundamentalism. Many have even bought into socialism. This has been a tragedy among Jews for hundreds of years already. But within the core of Judaism, there is a faithfulness to these principles, and that is why within the Jewish community there is a disproportionate success with money, because these things, these basic ideas, get up every morning and after you've said your prayers, devote yourself for a little while to thinking how you can help other people. You know, aren't we happy when we see our children helping one another?
Yeah,
Why would it surprise us that a loving God is happy when he sees us trying to help our fellow humans?
Jews are also very, very generous, supporting of all kinds of cultural, philanthropic, especially health, amazing, endowing hospitals.
Well, giving money away is not an option. It's obligatory.
Ah.
It's an absolute obligation. And again, you know, the Bible promises that you will be repaid 100-fold on everything you give away. And I'm sure you've heard this from many people, as I have, that astonishingly, against all logic, you give money away and it keeps coming back in excess. And that is absolutely true. It's a key component.
I'm glad to have a rabbi teaching this. Many people think this is a gimmick that's thought of by people, ministers on television or pastors in churches.
No, it's a very important
fundamental
become wealthy principle.
Yeah.
Yes, it is.
Well, folks, you're looking for, this is Money Monday, thou shalt prosper. You're hearing it from a very distinguished Orthodox rabbi who's a dear, dear friend. Thou shalt prosper. Where can you get this book, by the way?
Well, you go to my website, which, funnily enough, is youneedarabbi.com. www.youneedarabbi, because everybody needs a rabbi, right? Regardless of your faith. And folks with no faith at all, they really need a rabbi.
youneedarabbi.com, and you can get
that's
this.
it. Or we've got a toll-free number as well, 888-RABBI-41, Rabbi 41.
Rabbi?
Yeah, 888, Rabbi 41.
Well,
yeah.
Daniel, God bless you. It's so good to have you. Thou shalt prosper. 10 Commandments for making money.
And no retiring, Pat.
No, yeah. Thanks a lot. You made me so happy. All right.